My name's Arian. I'm from the Canberra Seed Savers, and we're a not-for-profit, volunteer, cooperative and network of backyard growers, farmers and community gardeners across the Canberra region who grow, save and share open pollinated heirloom seeds. We focus on food seeds and beneficial flowers. Our aim is to build a living seed bank. And that's a seed bank where the seeds are grown continuously, season on season, and shared throughout our community. We grow flowers, veggies and herbs for seed saving, and we aim to establish that connection that a couple of speakers have spoken about so well already, of really getting a connection going across an entire suburb, across the entire city, of people growing food, saving seed from that and sharing it with each other. By growing across a network of gardens, we can both preserve the purity of the plant variety to varying degrees and also share the bounty of that harvest and still create diversity and abundance right in our backyards, on our balconies. And really, fundamentally for us, seed saving is about that sharing, it's about that abundance, but it's also about spreading the inspiration and the wonder and the joy of seeds and working in harmony with nature to produce more plants, more seeds, more food. So, what does that have to do with bees and other pollinators? Well, of course, the obvious answer is that without bees, there are no seeds. And without seeds, we have very, 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 very little food. Even the most dedicated carnivores among us are caught up in this. Most of our grazing animals eat grass, which is a flowering, seed-producing family. And for the non-carnivores, most fake meat is derived from some plant-based, be it soy, legumes or grains. So seeds matter to all of us fundamentally as the basis of our life. We all need seeds, and therefore we need the pollinators who create them. Be they wasps, bees, flies, beetles, in all their many forms. And those pollinators need us to plant rich and diverse pollen-dense food for them. And as was just spoken about, a fantastic way to do that is with local natives, but also to make sure that we're planting the right type of food plants as well. To create and protect diverse and healthy ecosystems, and of course the pollinators need us to not poison them. So we grow heirloom open pollinated seeds for a couple of really good reasons. Unlike much of the commercial plant-based food that we buy, open pollinated heirloom seeds are not owned by any one entity. There's no exclusive ownership. Each and every one of us can use, save, swap and experiment with heirloom seeds. And that's something human beings have been doing very successfully for probably 10,000 years or more. They represent a true commons, enhanced by generations of human intellect, creativity and effort, and are a source of true richness for all of us, whether economic, social, cultural or communal. A single lettuce seed grows a lettuce which can produce 10,000 more lettuce seeds. And that kind of abundance is astonishing to think about. And that kind of abundance is our commonwealth and it's our common heritage. When we share that commonwealth, which is easy to do, we build our community connections, our community interdependence, and ultimately our community resilience. So open pollinated in our context simply means that we work with nature to reproduce and further enrich this seed legacy. The seed saver and the pollinator are partners or collaborators. We work together to produce another generation. The pollinator benefits from the pollen, the seed is created, and the pollinator's busy buzzing mixing of genes. By seed saving, we celebrate what is possibly the most fundamental symbiotic relationship existing between us as human beings and the natural world that we depend upon. So the living seed bank idea simply illustrates the continuously evolving relationship between us, our food, seeds and pollinators. Seeds stored away are as if a time capsule. It preserves that plant as it's expressed itself in a particular season. And it'll hold that memory. It's a complete little package of life and memory and the heritage of generations. And that memory and potential will last until you plant it again. And that's a great thing, that's a wonder. But of course, the world doesn't really work that way. The world outside isn't staying still. And unfortunately, in the middle of a climate emergency, Our climate is far from being static or reliable, rapidly changing. Our seasons are shifting, and all of the rules that we knew about what to plant and when and how our gardens work are changing. So a living seed bank is important because a seed planted, grown out, allowed to seed again will, through processes of epigenesis and evolution, adapt to local conditions during its life cycle. We're probably not going to be fast enough. I don't think nature can work that way, but we can give it a try. And we know that a seed grown in Canberra and planted again in Canberra has a better chance than one that we've imported from North Queensland or from overseas. So let's bring it all back to the bees and the other pollinators. And I'll be as quick as I can, just wanted to make one point. I sometimes wear another hat as a member of the slow food movement, and in its discussion on seeds, slow food starts out by saying that two models of agriculture exist these days. One is actually oriented towards the production of food, while the other is instead focused on producing commodities for the global market. And that commodification of our food system has led to a monoculture, industrially based food system, and that in turn has a massive impact on our pollinators. Many years ago I was in Latin America and driving on a bus through Argentina and looking out the window, seeing the kilometres upon kilometres upon kilometres of soy fields. And to see that is to understand that bees can't catch buses. And so they're not going to find a feed out of season. So those monocultures create a number of really, really difficult problems for our pollinators. And that seems to be the way that our system's going at the moment, but we want to argue for something different. And that is for a real diversity, for a way to work with nature that means that we can actually create more diversity, create better environments for our pollinators, and work together as a community to do that. Seed saving is a little bit technical, but it's also just a lot of inherited wisdom. It's a lot of understanding and learning, and the best way to do that is to work together, give it a go, practice, and to grow lots of beautiful plants. A living seed bank embedded in our community builds a very different relationship with our pollinators and a very different relationship to our food. It doesn't rely on monocultures, but rather, with a little forethought, some seed-saving knowledge and skills and a network of other growers, can provide steady, year-round, biodiverse environments for our pollinators. It celebrates and promotes biodiversity as food for both us as humans, but also for pollinators that we have to live in harmony with. It returns to all of us the rich human heritage of food and seeds. That's our human heritage that we have, that we own, that we can share with each other. It strengthens us both, people and pollinators, rather than placing us all at risk for the ultimately short-term profit of a few. And I want to conclude by saying that the Seed Savers network and cooperative has been a joy for me to work with, and to encourage anybody who's keen to get in touch. We've got a website. You can find us at canberraseedsavers.org.au, and a Facebook page. And there's many, many different ways to get involved. And at the moment, we're actually running a program, thanks to ACT Government Community Garden grants, and Dee Dee's holding up a bit of a picture over there. It's our Mobile Seed Libraries Community Gardens program. Not the catchiest title ever, but what it's about is sharing that wonder, inspiration, knowledge and skills of seed saving with as many community gardens as we can across Canberra. And so we go, we provide seeds, we run educational workshops, we make that connection, we work together across the season, we help people to save seeds, and then we spread that throughout our network. So if you like the sound of that or you're keen to know more, please let me know. And thanks so much to Act for Bees and everybody else for giving me a chance to have a chat. Thanks for your time.